Okay, hi. Third time's the charm, am I right? That won't mean anything to you. Hi, I'm Sesu. I'm a cozy, wholesome, Gorgon black VTuber. I hope you're having a good day, or a good night, or whatever time zone you're watching this in. Today, I am recording lore books from Bug Fables. I've been playing Bug Fables over the last couple of months, really. And I just beat the main campaign about 2 weeks ago. And so I'm just kind of following up and, covering up some loose ends that we missed in Bug Fables, including reading all of the lore books, because there's a lot of lore in Bug Fables, and I haven't read any of this, so we're gonna experience it together. As soon as I remember how to play this game. Alright, so let's read about our lifespan. Before the Day of Awakening, they say we used to live very little, only a few days or moons. And most of that time we were helpless larvae. Marriage marked the end of life. It's inconceivable nowadays. For one, we don't even remember being larvae. Truly, becoming an adult is like being born. And then, we get to enjoy this beautiful land for many years. It's hard not to pity our ancestors who had to give up life soon after becoming aware of it. Let's read The Crowning of Elizant II. After tears were shed over Elizant's too sudden retirement, it was time to crown the new queen. Elizant II's speech radiated power over kindness, leaving many uneasy. Although everyone cheered, doubt and fear festered amongst the populace. They could only wait and pray their new queen would be just. Let's read about the Ladybug exile. It had been just one moon after Queen Elizabeth II took the throne. Farmer ants kept reporting the disappearance of many aphid eggs. After a thorough investigation, a band of 17 ladybugs were found to be the culprits. Yes, 17! Her Majesty acted quick and restricted entry of most ladybugs from the Ant Kingdom. As of the time this book was written, many special permits are required for them to visit. The move was seen as very controversial and has been the Queen's most criticized decision. It remains to be seen how our generation will handle the shifts caused by this event. I mean, that kind of makes sense. It's kind of like blaming the whole species for the acts of a few. I could see why it'd be very controversial. Lesser bugs. After the Day of Awakening, many bugs changed form. We evolved to be able to live as we do now. But not all bugs evolved. Some remain untouched by the awakening. We call them lesser bugs. Spiders, midges, weevils, and some others did not gain sentience. They remain unchanged. Causes for that are still being researched. But unless another Day of Awakening happens, it'll be difficult to study the changes. However, it's been concluded lesser bugs have become more ferocious and will attack bugs that come near them. That's kind of scary. The Everlasting Sapling. It is said that the sapling was a creation of the roaches. The legends of the saplings have brought the first settlers to Bugaria, bringing upon them the creation of the Ant Kingdom. According to legends, it is said that eating even one of its leaves will grant immortality to the bug that eats it. Our only clue to its whereabouts are artifacts mentioned in ancient texts. They say one resides in Snakemouth Den, but its dangers have proven too much to conquer. Was it truly made by the roaches? Could it have caused the roaches to vanish? I hope this chapter of history will be cleared up in my lifetime. I don't remember who wrote all these books. Snakemouth Den. Rumors say that during Elizant I's rule, roaches that lived in Snakemouth Den were faced with a sudden demise. And one night, all the roaches that lived there were gone, and fungi monsters appeared. Expeditions sent have always suffered losses, so the search for the reason was put on hold. Snakemouth Den is rumored to be a host to many ancient crystals. Could that be the cause? If you've played through the game or watched my playthroughs, you'll know what the cause is. A brief history of bees. The bees are close allies with the ants and came in shortly after Elizabeth I settled down in these lands. While they used to make honey themselves, technological advances made robotic drones slowly take over the honey's production. Many bees of the newer generation, barring scholars, do not fully understand how to make it. Their society is mostly composed of females, with males residing in the queen's chambers. Yeah, makes sense to me. A brief history of wasp. Although they've been around long before Elizabeth I's arrival, the wasps live just outside of Bugaria. Thus, the ants hold the title of first settlers. They control most of the northern territory, composing of the far grasslands and wild swamplands, and will attack anyone they catch intruding. Due to a history of internal conflict, even the young are well versed in military tactics and combat. A brief history of termites. The termites, like the wasp, live in these lands before Elizabeth I, and, like them, live just outside of Bugaria. In isolationist society, they say the termites were close allies of the roaches, and as such, possess advanced technology within their dome. Unlike bees and ants, the termites possess both male and female soldiers and workers in their society. They are also very good builders and know how to use clay well. They do be building really well. The roaches. The roaches are the oldest of the bugs that rose after what they call the Day of Awakening. Having mastered the art of crystals, their civilization rose on top of this abundant power source. However, they suddenly disappeared. Many have speculated on the reason. Popular sentiment is some sort of civil war must have led their civilization to crumble. Personally, I doubt it. Surely some would have remained then? If some roaches did survive, they live far from Bugaria. Perhaps not even they would know of what their ancestors did. Alright, let's do the lost art of flight. History tells of insects soaring the sky, covering great distances. Nowadays, only the bees, wasps, and a few lesser species seem to retain that privilege. Even so, most bugs continue to possess wings. Day-to-day life doesn't quite need flight, so perhaps we as a collective have evolved past it. Could it be that one day bees will not flap their wings any longer? I mean, they ain't producing the honey anymore, so maybe. Mantid claws. According to data found in ancient roach slabs, mantises used to have claws instead of hands before the Day of Awakening. What a weird way to live. How would they be able to hold stuff to make art, or even cook nowadays? Thinking about it, this might be why they have an affinity for sharp tools. Fascinating. Some lesser mantids and mimics still have claws instead of hands. Such a pity. Many crystals exist around the world, filled with a mysterious power. The old roaches learned how to harness their magic, and crystals are now used as power sources for many machinery and other things. No current side effects from crystal exposure are known, making them relatively safe. Some children's tales mention that sometimes sounds can be heard from them, if in a quiet enough place. Probably fake. Archaeologists say that the crystals appear at the same time as the Day of Awakening started, suggesting a link between them and that event. Yo, this lore is kinda deep. Family structure and social bugs. Bugs can be classified into two types, social and loners. Social bugs usually have a single queen, the mother of the colony. Although all individuals are siblings, they do not tend to see it that way. Some individuals go closer to others by choice, creating their own small family cell. Social bugs are separated into workers or civilians. Workers are born to protect and take care of running the colony. Workers take their job very seriously and will fulfill their duties the best they can. Recently, some workers have rebelled to lead a loner life. This, too, could be an evolution. Civilians form family bonds more easily and care for the general well-being of their colony. It should be noted that social bugs referring to their queen as mother is considered a taboo. The queen, however, has freedom to call others their children. That's wild. You can't say, hey mom, but you can say, hey kid. Bugarian honey. Something about the pollen collected from Bugarian flowers causes the honey produced here to be super sweet, but also super volatile. If the honey is mixed too thick or heated up too much, it becomes alive and turns into a being called an Obama honey. Scientists are still trying to figure out what causes the honey to turn into those beasts. Many tests point towards crystal fragments in the plants of Bugaria being the culprit, but there's no conclusive proof. Berries as currency. It is unknown how long bugs have been using these specific types of berries as currency, but it is a very effective method. Hard, long-lasting, and very bitter, these berries are almost never eaten for their horrible taste. Their small size is perfect for carrying them around, too. There have been recorded cases of some bugs actually enjoying these berries, but almost no one can stomach their taste. Oh, there's a bug that makes, that digs for us in the mines. She loves those fucking berries. Oh my god. Dark cherries. There are some rare berries in Bugaria that are worth a lot. A lot! We call them dark cherries. A red counterpart has been found in the eastern lands, but due to how common they aren't as sought after. The dark variants, strangely, only grow underground. Meanwhile, the red ones grow in tall trees. In any case, some bugs have a keen sense of smell for dark cherries. They're hired to find them so that they may be sold to collectors. The era of deceit. After the Day of Awakening, not all bugs stood equal in society. Many ants, bees, wasps, and others failed to evolve with the rest. Many long disputes and frustration occurred because of this. Thankfully, with the passing of time, all bugs experienced the awakening. But some didn't evolve still. Youngling care. Since the Day of Awakening, we mature faster, but our infant stage is still critical. There could be events where the caterpillar or grub stages get interrupted, causing unforeseen consequences. If one is not careful, the youngling can turn into a dangerous lesser bug. Nurseries must be protected and treasured at all costs so that our future generations don't suffer such a fate. A study of magic. Magic is uncommon, and few berries are able to use it. Some bees theorize that crystal exposure can grant magic powers, but testing earns no fruit. A legendary wizard that lived in these lands used to experiment with crystals to learn their magic properties. But he suddenly disappeared, and all knowledge of how crystals relate to magic disappeared with him. Rumors have said that he might be living in the far grasslands, but no traces of him have been located. Oh, I found him. I know where he is. The Mother Crystal. Deep underground, below the Forsaken Lands, it's said that a massive crystal resides. Said crystal might be linked to why Bugaria is such a haven in this area. The ancient Roach text suggests it fell from the heavens during the Day of Awakening, piercing the earth. They said the crystal's aura protects Bugaria from the outside world's great perils. Some say that it is tied to goddess Venus, the local deity of the Golden Settlement. Although, personally, I would prefer not to speculate using local folklore. Further study is necessary, but the termites prohibit anyone from digging under the Forsaken Lands. Until relations between the kingdoms improve, reaching the crystal is currently impossible. Wild. So, like, below the surface, there's just a little highland under there, huh? Let's see. The Deadlands. The gigantic feral beasts that surround Bugaria. It's uncanny how we've gotten used to them. Elizant I braved the Deadlands, riddled with these creatures, to ensue our peace. Although Bugaria is protected by the Mother Crystal, I struggle to write when I think of what could happen should that crystal lose its power. The Northern Kingdom. Far beyond the swamplands lay the Northern Kingdom, home to mostly many kinds of beetles. They are very traditionalist and hold honor above all else. However, many travel to Bugaria to escape the Deadlanders' attacks. The trip to Bugaria is hard enough, but the north houses the swamps filled with more dangerous creatures. To avoid the wasp hostility, most take the long route around their kingdom. It's the most insane of trips. Truly, the lives of the Northerners isn't an easy one. Kabu, are you from the north? I think so. You're a beetle. The Eastern Lands. To the far east of Bugaria lay the dead lands we fear so much. Monsters everywhere and a feeling of utter dread. Who knows how, but I braved through the odds. Eventually, I reached the Eastern Kingdom. It is so different compared to Bugaria. It has many exotic fruits and materials that cannot be found in our kingdom. Many of its denizens live in a very closed community that shun outsiders. The only exception to this seems to be a rare species of bug that resemble fruits. Although friendly, other eastern bugs appear to stay clear of them. Is their smell too sweet? If I don't make it back to Bugaria, I'm glad I got to meet them. The Giants. Every day, more ancient artifacts pop up. Given their size and unknown purpose, scholars believe giants roamed these lands. They could have existed all over the known world in giant kingdoms to protect them from the Deadlands. When the Day of Awakening happened, the giants must have vanished, only their artifacts remained. There's no way to know, is there? Maybe they caused the awakening themselves. Perhaps they fell to the Deadlands or created them themselves. Maybe someday they will return to reclaim their old home? Maybe they have left for another world? I'm a bug of facts, but even I am reduced to daydreaming about their fate. At least we have their monuments, showing us glimpses of days past. Oh, we're on the last one. The Day of Reckoning. The following cannot be confirmed, having been retrieved from a book in the Roach Village's ruins. According to this book, written by Roderick, the Roach Scholar, what we call the Day of Awakening, the Roaches called the Day of Reckoning. It was an event where they woke up to the world. They share our belief that before that day we were not different from the lesser bugs amongst us. A cataclysm happened suddenly, which banished the once fabled giants to the other world. Only bugs and some of the creatures were left in this world. After said cataclysm, the roaches became sentient, giving birth to civilization. Other books by Roderick mention fires raining down from the sky and destroying the earth. Expeditions have not found craters or traces of such a disaster. Its constant mention in Roach texts suggests it was a big part of their culture. Or could it be a religious creation myth? Roderick, were you lying? How are we supposed to find out? Curses. I'll keep this book hidden away until I can find the truth. I'll head into the Eastern Lands once more if I have to. Alright, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me and reading lore. I'll see you next time.